Hello and happy Friday. Today I'm going to be showing you a few sketchbook ideas, 4 of them to be exact. And there's a little change of scenery this week because I decided to film in the bedroom. It's super messy in here, so please don't judge. Leo, say hi. Next week we will be back in the studio because I'm going to be painting this entire wall behind me with a giant colorful mural. I am super excited, but for now, let's get sketching. As you can see, I'm going to be using a wide variety of art supplies. So we have tons of different markers, different brands, different colors, watercolor paints, Posca paint pens, washi tape colored pencils, a regular drawing pencil, an eraser, some white acrylic paint that I don't think I ended up using at all, but it's just there. So for the first page, I am going to be doing a random abstract doodle that I really was planning on only spending maybe a 30-minute time frame on, but spoiler alert, it ended up taking around 5+ hours. So there is that, but it was fun. It was a great way to get back into drawing, just kind of loosening up my hands and getting that muscle memory back to work on bigger things, which I did mention I am going to be painting a giant mural on my wall for the next SoCraftastic video, so stick around for that. Anyway, to kind of explain this doodle a little bit, I went in, of course, with one single wavy diagonal line at first, and then I darkened that line by going over it with the marker, the same colored marker. So it started off with the navy blue line, and then I went in with a lighter blue, there's an even lighter blue, and then magenta and orange and green and yellow. So after the yellow was complete, I believe I was already around an hour into this, and just looking at it, you wouldn't expect for this to take that long. You would probably be like, oh, I could probably do this in 15 minutes, and maybe you could. Maybe I'm just one of the slowest drawers in the world. The point of this was trying to be a little bit more loose with my drawings though, and that is not the case here. This is very crisp, and I didn't want the colors to overlap very much, so I think I failed in the sense of like trying to have something be more flowy. But anyway, we're gonna move on, and I am now using colored pencil to do these leaf designs. I didn't like how empty the yellow space was, and I wanted there to be some sort of nature-y element. After looking at this for a while, because I started with the blue, I'm going to actually interpret this as a literal wave of water, and I want there to be kind of a story behind this page now that I'm spending so long on it. So I decided to go in with the leaves to represent fall coming. Where I live in Ohio right now, it's starting to get kind of chilly. So when I take our puppy out to pee in the morning, I'm now really chilly, and that makes me really sad, honestly. I filled in the left-hand side of the page last, but it's actually what comes before the weather change, which is the spring and summer, all the pretty flowers, and just warmness and bliss. This page is literally a progression of time. So I am doodling a ton of flowers on this side with different shades of purples and lavenders and pinks, and I just basically started with a few petals in the center and expanded on those to make a very simple flower design, but one that looks very intricate from far away. There are many different sizes. I wanted to put tiny ones in between to fill in as much space as possible, and I did contemplate on whether or not I wanted to fill in that whole background space with like a seafoam green color maybe, but I decided against it, and I'm glad that I went with that decision because this is what it turned out like, and I think the white background really it just fits. It makes for a nice piece, and I'm very happy with this. I'm kind of trying to figure out my art style because I don't feel like I have one. I go all over the place with the things that I draw and paint, and I don't have one set subject matter or theme ever on my channel. There's just so many different things over the years that I've done, and I'm still trying to find something that I want to make into a series with my art. Doing this has made me realize that it's probably not going to be this type of doodle because it's just a lot, but it's really pretty and I am glad that I made it. But now let's move on to the second sketchbook idea, which is going to be done with some washi tape to make a crisp border. This isn't necessary. None of the things I do in this book are necessary. You don't have to follow everything step by step. You can put your own creative flair. You can draw whatever you want. Obviously, this is just here to give you guys some inspiration. A little tip, you might want to stick the washi tape onto one of your t-shirts or onto the carpet. I know that sounds a little gross because it can pick up lint and dust and cat hair and dog hair in my house, but it will make the tape a little less sticky, and then it'll have way less of a chance of ripping the paper of your page. So in my sketchbook, this one honestly isn't great quality with the thickness of the pages, and something like this tape, as you'll see later, it actually did rip some of the paper. I am now doodling a jellyfish. So I used one of the markers. Well, I started with a black Posca paint pen, but then I also went in with a Tombow. It's a mono twin. So I got this from the Artful Art box. I do have that video listed in the description box below if you want to check it out. Along with trying to find my art style, it's also fun to experiment with so many different art supplies in the same drawing or painting, mixed media piece, whatever you want to call it. For the body of the jellyfish, I wanted to do kind of scribbly lines around it to make it look like it was moving. I have all these wavy lines intersecting and going in and through, they're not going into each other, they're crossing over each other and behind, so you can't really tell which one is in the foreground and the background, and that's fine with me because it still is more of an abstract style of jellyfish and more like cartoony than realistic, but I wanted to make it really colorful as well. Layering colored pencils over watercolor, it works really great, but I find that putting white colored pencil first helps the different colors to show up more bold and vividly, but I didn't like how this looked. I'm gonna be real with you guys, at this point I thought that I had messed it up so badly that I wanted to just stop doing anything. If you guys ever get to that point of frustration, kind of take a step back, take a deep breath, and think, okay, it's okay if this sucks, but then think again and say, wait a minute, maybe I can fix it. Oh no. Shoot. Some things you can't fix, but I actually went back in after removing the tape border, and as I did mention, some of the paper ripped, so at that point I was just kind of spiraling into, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing ever, like I'm so embarrassed, I don't want to show this. And at this point I really didn't want to show anyone what it looked like, just because there wasn't enough contrast is what was making it look really terrible in my opinion, not something I was proud of. After I went in with the black squiggles around each tentacle, I thought that it came together much better, and it really changed the appearance of the entire style, and it made the lines look better, and I'm way more happy with how this looks than originally how I was going to end it and just leave the color not as much black. If you guys are curious about the exact art supplies that I'm using and you guys want to purchase the same ones, I'll link everything in the description box below. There will be a link to my Amazon storefront, which is basically a bunch of affiliate links, so anything you do purchase from there, I will get a small percentage of, but you won't pay anything extra. Also, I did want to show you that the ink goes through the page fairly easily with the sketchbook, very thin paper. I really want to get a more professional quality sketchbook. I think that, now I'm gonna say this wrong probably, but there's one called Ilio, I think. It's always sold out, and I did try to get one before, but I never set a reminder on my phone to try again. I do want to get my hands on one of those or something of similar quality. Anyway, while I was rambling on about that, I did start the third sketch. And again, I was really upset at this point because I was trying to recreate a sketch of a girl that I did in my other sketchbook, and I only have 2 pages complete in that sketchbook, so there's not really much in there. I'm not someone who sketches very often, and I want to change that, but then there's other times when I'm like, yeah, I'd rather play a video game or something rather than draw. So I don't know. After adding the ears, I guess I was happier with her and I continued, but I really had low hopes for this. I know that this is sounding really negative. I don't mean to put myself down. I know that there are people watching me at all different levels, and I don't want any of you to think that if your art looks like mine and I'm saying, oh, I don't really care for this, that I'm saying that you're not doing a good job, because that's not it at all. It's just, I feel like I have been doing art for such a long time that I want things to be like boom, bam, perfect, and the reality is I don't practice very much. If I were really that concerned about it, I would do something about it, but I just kind of do this as something when I want to, as opposed to something that I like make myself sit down and do every day. My original concept was just to make her look like she was floating in clouds or water, and she was kind of trapped in that, and all the life and identity of her was kind of sucked away. But then I had this idea that, well, now I kind of like this. So like at the beginning, when I wasn't really happy with this, and I had still that channeled energy from the jellyfish when I wasn't happy with that, I was kind of like in this glum state of, oh, please no one look at me. I know that sounds dramatic, but I just didn't want to show these things. Then when she was looking a little bit better and I was more happy, I'm like, okay, this darkness or glumness is fading away. And this can be said for many parts of my life and my journey, is the fact that I'm still kind of trying to overcome a lot of obstacles in my personal life and on my YouTube channel, and try to figure out exactly what sparks joy. Not trying to Marie Kondo this sketchbook, but you know, what brings me the most happiest? What direction do I want my channel to go in? And that is where that grayness and just lifelessness is dripping away, and it is because of the hope from the sky. This could just be, oh my gosh, please no one analyze this video in my nonsensical head. But no, for real, I know that this is a very cheesy page, and I'm showing literal rainbow raindrops dropping from the sky, or raining from the sky, whatever. They are falling on this girl's head and returning the life back to her and starting to become herself and let her true colors show through. Oh my gosh, that was so lame and so literal. But yeah, that's my concept for this, and I do like stuff like this a lot. I feel like there could be a better way for me to do this with a bigger scale, and yeah, I don't know. I would love to do realism with something like this. Maybe my very first oil painting, which I've never tried oil painting yet, so that would take me so many weeks to do, I bet. So let's move on to the final page. This one took the absolute least amount of time. The previous one probably took 2 hours, 2.5. The jellyfish may have taken around 3 or so, I don't know. But this one only took about an hour. There's not a whole lot to say about it, but something that I find very strange in a way is the fact that all 4 pages have something in common that I wasn't planning to have. Like, I wasn't going for a theme at all, but all 4 of them somehow have water in them. Actually, this design is what I was more so aiming for with that first page. I wanted to have a very simple design, something that didn't take a long time, and just an exercise to get my hand moving and the marker ink flowing. So I made myself stop after the 3 colors, even though I thought, oh, maybe I could add a yellow one down in the right hand corner. I'm like, no, okay, this is it. It's going to be a simple design. We're gonna leave it here. And that is what I did. Let me know in the comment section below which sketch from this video is your favorite, and please stay tuned for the next video, which is going to be large scale art on my wall. It's probably going to be an abstract piece. I'm pretty excited for it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell if you don't want to miss the next video and all the ones that I post in the future. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Goose, say bye.